How are index funds different from actively managed funds? Aside from index funds, there are also actively managed funds. They are mainly differentiated by their investment objectives and strategies. An index fund usually invests in the constituents of a specific benchmark based on their respective weightings. The goal is to track the performance of the benchmark and achieve a comparable return. The situation is similar to riding an escalator. To reach the desired destination, the rider only needs to pick the right escalator as opposed to having to move around. An actively managed fund bases its investments on the fund manager's research and analysis. The goal is to pick the right securities and beat the benchmarks. Just like climbing a flight of stairs, the climbers might or might not run faster than an escalator, depending on the competence of the climber. The two types of funds also differ in terms of management fee and transparency of holdings. Since an index fund is easier to operate, its management fee is also lower than that of an actively managed fund generally. When it comes to transparency of holdings, an index fund normally invests in the constituents of its benchmark based on their respective weightings, which means its portfolio can be easily inferred from the public information of the index. On the contrary, an actively managed fund involves stock-picking strategies, while its fund fact sheet only lists its key holdings. Investors who wish to learn more about the portfolio need to refer to the fund's financial report, where its holdings are normally disclosed. So, should investors choose index funds or actively managed funds as their investment tools? Given that both types of funds have their own features, investors should decide based on their investment objectives. One advantage of index funds is that investors can diversify his or her investments with relatively low costs and gain exposure to individual markets or asset classes that come across as promising. And one of the best things about actively managed funds is that it can tap the expertise of professional fund managers, providing opportunities to outperform the market. In fact, both types of funds are complementary. While using index funds as core investments, adding various actively managed funds can help capture extra potential return. Altogether, they form a more comprehensive investment portfolio.